Yeah, Coach. Obviously, uh, we saw what happened, but just from your point of view, seeing Devin, coming through like that, coming back from the injury, and then to be able to, after a slow start, to knock down a huge shot like that, which really capped the way he was ended the game. Just maybe speak to that shot and how you saw it.
Well, I just think he's got the heart to take those shots, and I've said that to you guys before. I love when guys make those shots, but when you have the courage to take them and deal with the results, those are the things I look for when you're drawing up a player, when you're working with someone like Devin. And the players execute. That's the deal. Like every coach has some type of play. You hope you can get a shot off, but in that moment, I trust him, and I'm willing to live with the results. Because I think his intentions are always good, and just a heck of a second stint when he came back in. I thought the three he hit on the left wing when it was kind of muddy and our offense wasn't moving well, that three kind of set the tone for him. And then, down the stretch, I mean, DA screen, Chris's pass, and then Book being able to come off and just knock a shot down like that. It's those are moments that you really enjoy.
And I'm curious to know what was being, when you're drawing the play up, how much communication is with you and the three parties you just said, Ayton, Chris, and Devin, on, hey, we want to run it this way. Because it looked like Chris, he was delaying a little bit, at least from where I was seeing it, but that was obviously part of the play, right?
Yeah, I mean, I wish I was bright enough to say I came up with that play, but I've seen somebody else run it, and it was a play that Chris has run before, so he knew the timing on it. DA set an unreal screen, and Book came off with the intention of, getting to his spot and just raising up. So, that stuff is the players deserve a ton of credit for that kind of execution, because we haven't been able to do that early on. I told the guys, I'm like, we got to build on that. Like, whether it's a defensive execution, which we did to stop them from getting off a shot, or offensively, like that's something that helps us build continuity.
Next up is Kellen Olson with Arizona Sports, and then Gerald Bourguet.
Hey, Monty, it felt like Chris and Devin were really at the head of a strong defensive effort there in the fourth quarter. How did you see the game unfold as a whole?
Well, I mean, our fourth quarter defense and first quarter defense was where it, we wanted to be. They had 26 in the fourth, and that's, against that team with all the weapons they have was pretty good. I thought we had way too many miscommunications on our switches tonight, and you guys saw like the drives down the lane. It was just late communication. That's something we have to work on. But when we needed to get stops, we got the stops. And the other thing that plagued us tonight was offensive rebounding. They had 7, but there was timely ones. I thought Finney-Smith and Richardson were just going after boards tonight. The first play of the third quarter, Cam doesn't box out and Cleaver gets one. So that's something that, when you're playing smaller, the way we play with smaller power forwards, our focus has to be primary, secondary, tertiary defense, and then we got to get a rebound. And, we'll talk about it and work on it tomorrow.
Next is Gerald Bourguet with Fansided, followed by Gina Mizell.
Hey, Coach, in the first half, it seemed like the plan was to kind of monitor Book's minutes. In the second half, obviously, he finished with 31 minutes for a whole. Is that one of those situations where you kind of just keep the conversation open to see how he's feeling and then go from there?
Well, I mean, the goal was to play a few minutes less than he played. We typically play him a few minutes more, so I met in between. I imagine if I would have taken Book out in the fourth, that would have been the first time you've seen a player knock a coach out on the sideline. So I just thought I'd stay away from that scenario and let him play as long as he was looking good. And he didn't look fatigued. That was the thing you worry about. When a player looks fatigued, I think that's when you run into injuries. but he didn't look like that. He has great energy, and we certainly needed every minute that he gave us in the fourth quarter.
Next is Gina Mizell with Suns.com, and then Christos Saltis.
Hey, Monty, I don't know if you caught this, but immediately after Book hit the big shot, he kept saying one stop. Like that was immediately where his mind went when Chris is trying to like chest bump him and stuff. Just like, I guess that was where his mentality immediately went to. Just what does that say about him as a player, that even when there's a second and a half yet and he just hit a big shot, that's what his mind is.
When you're able to transfer your thoughts to the winning part of the game, it says a lot about Book, with all the stuff that has been said about our organization and, whatever it was, like that young man wants to win at everything. And, his mind went from shot right to a stop. And that's a great moment for our team. And like I said, we have to build on it.
Final two questions will be Christos Saltis with Sport DNA in Greece, and then Dwayne Rankin.
Hello, Coach. Congratulations on the win. Would like to ask you, how easy make your game plan, both D-Book and Chris Paul on the court, and what it means about your mentality, the way that you won tonight?
Well, our game plan, obviously we want to be a defensive team. We feel like we can be a top 10 defensive team over the course of this season. Offensively, we just want different people to touch the ball, especially early in the game, and have a great balance. And then as far as those two guys are concerned, I think, it's been a work in progress, but I think you saw it tonight with those two guys, the combination of pick and roll and two-man game and, playing with DA and Chris and Book with shooters around those guys. Offensively, we feel like we can, get some production down the stretch with those guys, but we're still trying to figure it out. It's not an exact science for us by any stretch, but we're working on it.
Last question will be Dwayne Rankin with the Arizona Republic.
Yeah, Coach, and I know this may be difficult to answer considering the game just ended, but what is something that when you just take a snapshot of what happened throughout the game that you look back and say, this, we're going to look at Booker's obviously the huge shot and the way Chris played, but what underlining thing do you feel like led to the win outside of the obvious?
The resiliency. To be able to win a game like that when you haven't played your best basketball. We had 19 assists, and a lot of that was because we missed wide open shots. We gave up timely offensive rebounds, but when we needed to make plays, we showed a level of resiliency, and there was never any quit in our guys. And so that's what stands out to me. It wasn't just one moment. It was just being able to play through the muddiness of the game for us. I thought with a team like Dallas and they've been trying to get a win for a minute, and you could hear their bench, trying to spur them on, that kind of thing. And our guys created their own energy, and their camaraderie just went up another level. And so for them to pull it out like that says a lot about their resilience.
Devin, obviously, welcome back from the injury. Got to ask though about that last play. Coach said obviously you guys talked about it before. Just take us through you going through that, getting the screen and freeing yourself up and pulling up like that.
Yeah, Coach and I grew up a beautiful play, and we executed. From Chris, getting in the ball, having a bigger defender on him, still being able to make the pass. DeAndre setting a good screen just to give me just amount of space. So, Coach had a game plan and we executed, especially down the stretch, which was big for us.
Just a quick follow-up. We saw the game before where you were celebrating during the comeback and you was hopping on one leg, and I asked Coach if that had given him a heart attack. How good was the leg feeling tonight? And obviously it looked like you started slow, but then they got it going in the second half.
Yeah, it felt great. I wouldn't go out there if it didn't. Shout out to the training staff. I've been working on it full time, all around the clock. I've been waiting to get back out there. I think we're making a push right now. We're coming locked in throughout The last win was a really big win for us too. And, you know, to get this second one on the road trip, you know, it was great energy moving into the next one.
Next is Kellen Olson, followed by Tim McMahon.
Hey, Book, welcome back. It felt like you and Chris really established the intensity on defense at the start of the fourth quarter. How important is it for both you guys to do that in those moments when the game's on the line?
Not just all of it, not just me and Chris, it has to be everybody. And that comes with communication. That comes with holding people accountable. And we're doing that. You know, I think we had a few slip-ups tonight with a lot of offensive rebounds. But, you know, credit the Mavericks. You know, that's how they play. But, you know, we're getting better. And people are holding each other accountable. You know, there's constant communication throughout the bench. So everybody wants to win. You know, it's fun to be a part of.
Next is Tim McMahon, followed by Cody Cunningham.
You've hit 5 of those go-ahead shots in the last 5 seconds in your career now. How comfortable are you in those situations, and how much do you look forward to those opportunities?
I look forward to them, you know, when the opportunity presents itself. You know, that's why we work so hard. That's why we train so hard. That's how I use the imagination in my workouts to put myself in those situations. You know, so we have multiple threats out there where you know, teams kind of have to pick their poise. And it's good to be a part of, like I just said. But, you know, we executed and we came out with the big one, right?
Next is Cody Cunningham with Suns.com, and then Brendan Clean.
Hey, Book. Following the game tonight, Chris was asked about you, and he said, you know, it's nice to play alongside a guy who pushes you. And he talked about the trust that you two have with one another. Just what's it been like leading this team alongside Chris, and how have you two been able to elevate each other's games?
Like you said, you know, iron sharpens iron. You know, we both hold each other accountable. We both have that similar approach where we want to win at all costs. We're not worried about hurting anybody's feelings, you know, on our team or the other team. You know, we're going out there to win basketball games and whatever it takes to do that. And, you know, I'm learning from him every day. You know, he's been in every situation, you know, that I want to get to. You know, so I have the cheat code of being alongside of him, his backcourt mate. You know, from on the court to off the court, just everything he does, you know, I'm a sponge to it.
Final 2 questions are Brendan Clean with Forbes, and then Christos Saltis.
Hey, Book. You talked about some of the stuff with Chris just right there, but just generally, what were you able to glean watching the guys do what they did while you were away that maybe you incorporated getting back on the floor? Because they seemed to click the past couple games even before this one.
Yeah, you know, that's why, you know, you never want to be injured. You never want to miss games. But, you know, I try to be locked in more than ever when I'm out. Just seeing the game at a different angle, seeing it at a different pace. And they were coming out with big wins. You know, big shout out to our second unit last game and this game. You know, when we went down 5-10 in a stretch, you know, they come in right off the bench ready to play. You know, so that's Langston, Etuan, Frank, you know, all those guys just ready to hoop. You know, so that's really important for us.
Final question would be Christos Saltis from Greece.
Hello, Devin. Congratulations on the win. How big boost you get from this shot against the Mavericks tonight? And do you believe that this win, with the way that you won, is a kind of a statement about your potential as a team?
We just try to win every game. We know the Mavs are a good team over here in our conference. And every time we see a matchup, you know, we're ready to go. So I don't think it's anything bigger than that. I'm not going to say this is our breakout game or the time that we turn the page of the team. You know, we know it's a long season. We know it's going to be a hard-fought season. So all we want to do is focus on what we can focus on, and that's ourselves. That's our team. From the coaching staff to the training staff to the players in here. We're trying to be all locked in on all cylinders, you know, because we have goals where we want to go and where we want to reach.
Yeah, Chris, Monty said that was a play that you had and had ran before. Just curious, how often has it been that effective where you get a game-winning 3 out of it?
Man, these are the benefits of having played for Mont before and playing for Doc. You know, execution was one of the main staples. You know, playing for Mont, it was like that. Playing for Doc, it was like that. So that's a play that we used to run for JJ Redick a lot of times. Me and Mont after the game was talking about another like variation of that play, but it's just growth for our team. You know, we always talk about the importance of execution, right? Executing and understanding that the game is never over. And you know, Book made the shot, but I got to go back and look at it. And I'm sure DA set a great screen, but everybody has to do their part in order for a play like that to happen.
And just a quick follow, you talked about building and stacking wins and how nice was it to build and get a win out of a game that could have easily lost there at the end with the way the ball was bouncing late.
Yeah, man. It was like a movie, that shot, because, you know, that's like the shot Luka hit in the bubble. And I was telling the guys in the locker room, I don't know if I can ever retire because the emotional roller coaster that you go on during the game, like for real, like there's no high like that, the energy, you know, when you pissed and mad and then to, you know, the joy winning the game. So it's really nice to get a win like that with this group of guys we got.
Next is Kellen Olson with Arizona Sports, and then Tim McMahon.
Hey, Chris, how would you assess the team's defensive performance over the course of the game?
Man, thank goodness Book made that shot because I'm going to be all over film for all the box outs. Finney Smith stayed crashing the boards. And, you know, I don't know how many second chance points they had, but it was a lot. Tim Hardaway Jr. hit a three while we was up 2 towards the end. So that's stuff that we still got to clean up. You know, winning a game, we'll try to cover that stuff up, but I know I got to be better on the defensive end.
Next is Tim McMahon with ESPN, followed by Brendan Clean.
Chris, you know that's Book coming off the screen. How much confidence do you have when you're delivering that pass that he can knock that down?
All the confidence in the world. Man, we play shooting games every day. Me, Book, Jay Crowder, and usually Campaign. We shoot every day. And Book, man, we talk about it, him, Klay Thompson, there's a few guys in this league who have the same looking shot every time. And when I, you know, spinned and knew Book was coming there, if you just look, like I could see him and his eyes were huge. You knew he wanted the ball, and it's a big time shot. But
and one more thing, Rick Carlisle said they knew they had a foul to give. They were supposed to give that. I know you know all those situations. Is there something you're able to do there to not allow them to get that foul?
Shoot, I should have known that. I didn't even know that. I mean, we lost a tough game like that against Denver. You know, we had a foul to give too. So I think we just executed.
Final 2 questions are going to be Brendan Clean with Forbes, and then Landon Buford.
Hey, Chris, you know, Book hit that shot at the end, but you had the jumper falling as well tonight. Would you say you're where you want to be in terms of physically and being able to get to your spots, score the ball the way you want to right now?
I feel good. You know, the game is actually easy, you know, especially the way the league guards, you sort of know what's going to happen on a nightly basis. I think me and DA are getting in a better place of understanding the angles of the screens and understanding, you know, where to get to and whatnot. I mean, it's nice to make more shots than you miss, and I think that'll continue. But I mean, off nights happen. Hopefully, less than other ones.
Final question is going to be Landon Buford with Forbes.
Hey, Chris, I just wanted to get your opinion on some of these partnerships that the NBA is doing with the players, and then also where can some of these people get, I guess, access to some of the resources to for helping as far as the HBCUs, as far as scholarships or any other incentives that you guys are partnering to help people in the people of color in the community and things of that nature.
Talking about the NBA?
NBA, yes. And then
I can speak for me personally. You know,
okay.
I've been trying to do a lot of things for HBCUs, for kids, you know, of color, as far as financial literacy and all these different things. And we announced today that our show with the undefeated in ESPN Plus. Why Not Us, following North Carolina Central and LaVelle Moulton, starts on February 12th. So I'm really excited about that. Just talking about the importance of HBCUs and, why, they're a cornerstone of Black history.